Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about the graphing form of quadratic equation. The other term for graphing form, other textbook are using vertex form. They're just the same. So graphing form or vertex form of quadratic equation, they are just talking about the same equation. So the graphing form or the vertex form is y equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. So this is the graphing form or the vertex form of a quadratic equation. So our task today is to determine what is the role of A, what is the effect of H, what is the effect of K in the graph. So I'm gonna add all the sliders here so we can see what are these variables for. Okay, so you can see I got the purple graph over here. The A was 1. Now we will set this H to 0 and the K to 0. So I'm going to set the K to 0 as well, so that's 0. At this time, we have the parent graph of quadratic equation. The reason why this is called parent graph, it's because the H and the K becomes a 0 and the A is 1. So pretty much the equation becomes y equals x squared, which is the parent graph of quadratic equations. As you can see, the green and the purple graph are sitting on top of each other. Now, what are we going to do right now is we will determine what is the effect of A. So here's the thing. If A is positive, then the quadratic graph would, or this parabola right here would open upwards. As you can see, it opens upward. Now, what happens if A becomes bigger and bigger? If A gets bigger and bigger, as you can see, you can notice that the graph becomes skinnier. Now, what happens if the graph, what happened to the graph if A decreases? So if the A value decreases, then the graph gets wider and wider. So you see it gets wider and wider. Now, if it gets to 0, then it becomes a straight line. So that's the A. At 0, it's a straight line. When A gets bigger, when A is positive, and when A is positive, it opens up. And when it becomes bigger and bigger positive number, then it becomes skinnier. And when it becomes less and less closer to 0, then it becomes wider. Now, if the A is negative, the graph opens downward. Now, if we decrease the negative, so negative all the way to negative 10, as you can see, it gets skinnier and skinnier, but it's facing downward because A was negative. Now, if we move this cursor right here towards 0, as you can see, the graph gets wider and wider as it gets closer to 0. So, but it's still opening downward since the A was negative. Now, let's move the H to see what is the effect of H on the graph. So if I move the H over here, the H actually moves the graph right or left. So as you can see, it moves the graph right or left. Now, what is the effect of K? The K moves the graph up or down. So the K moves the graph up or down. If you find this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!